Sponges, 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 and more wonderful sponges. Who could ask for more? Hello there, and welcome back to Roguecraft Theater. Ooh, echoey. We're back at the base where I've been busy lighting up the caves under and around the base when I found a whole army of new friends all wanting to party. While I greet all the new guests in my home, I wanted to have a virtual sit down and talk about my videos, or rather the lack of them, for a moment. I think it's fair to say it's been a while since we last visited Roguecraft, and I'd like to take a moment to talk about that. It's not so much that I haven't been playing Minecraft, but somewhere along the way with gaming and work and life and work and life and work and life, I got myself in a bad headspace. I just kept looking at all the footage and just didn't know what to do with it. So I put it off to come back to, air quotes, tomorrow, and see if I had any ideas for it then. Now, one of the wonderful catch-22s of life is if you put something off because you're feeling overwhelmed, when you come back to it later and there's even more of it, you might be surprised to hear, you start to feel even more overwhelmed. I know, I can tell from all the audible gasps out there that you find this revelation as shocking as I did. Sometimes in life, you just feel overwhelmed. Doesn't even have to be big stuff, it's just life. Just happens. All you can do is try and deal with it as best you can. So I took a break from making videos and just went and played the game for a while. Really didn't think too much about making them. And you know what happened? I rediscovered the fun of playing Minecraft. Take the pressure of making a video out of it, and suddenly the game became fun again. This doesn't mean I don't plan on making videos. I mean, you're watching one right now. But I don't know what this means about future videos or what kind of schedule I'll have. I really do enjoy making them. I enjoy the creative process. I just need to find a balance between the pressure of trying to be good at the game, trying to be entertaining, trying to just have some fun, while also dealing with all that work and life thing. The funny thing is, I always end my videos with, remember to have fun. But sometimes it's hard to follow your own advice. So, now that I've got all that seriousness out of my system and brought the room down, what do those of you who are still here say to putting all that behind us and taking a look at what I was doing while I tried to figure things out? Cue that old but glorious Minecraft footage, Mr. Editor Man! We're back at spawn and setting up our first sort of official stall. As a group, we haven't quite figured out what we want to do at spawn, so until we do, we're doing a temporary shopping district with some low-key shops to start off with. Basically, anything we build right now shouldn't be too involved because we're probably going to tear them down later when we move them to the new area. At the moment, all those plans are up in the air, but it's likely to be something big by the end of the season. For my first shop, I thought I'd try and corner the market on something new in 1.17. Any guesses what it is? That part was the billboard for the stall, and now I'm finishing up the... Oh, hello there, doggy boy. How you been? Oh, well, that's good to hear. Let's just finish up the countertops and place some torches to keep away the riffraff, and we should be done. Any guesses what the shop is now? If you guessed a pet food shop specializing in water kitty food, well, then you're an absolute genius, since, as I soon found out afterwards, I wasted all that time AFK fishing because water kitties only eat fresh fish out of a bucket. Apparently, they like all that extra iron in their diet. So there it is in all its colorful glory. I call it the Hello Water Kitty. Stop in and buy fresh tropical fish for your water kitty today. I decided to take a break from all the fortressing and went out and explored the world and found the first ocean monument. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but once I get Aqua Affinity and Depth Strider and Respiration on my armor, I just love to go exploring by swimming. I have no idea if it's as fast as being on a boat, but it's definitely more interesting. And on this day's trip, I found something I have never found before. Not only did I find the world's first monument, I found a second one. And over here is a third one. And right there in the corner is a fourth one. And in case you thought that was a lot, after I turned my camera off, I found a fifth one over here under the ice. This world definitely has no shortage of monuments. And what's even cooler is the third monument generated with a geode inside of it. You don't see that every day, do you? Pesky laser-shooting fish. And now we find ourselves back in the Nether in the constant quest for some netherite. I've been working on the fortress recently, and I realized I desperately need a netherite sword to be safe out there. So bring on the montage of ancient debris. And we're back at the base after collecting enough to make a couple of netherite ingots. I didn't have the greatest of luck, but it's enough to convert my sword and one other item into netherite. If I had some diamond boots with feather falling 4 on them, I would be sporting some netherite kicks, but until I do, I suppose I'll go with the helmet since it's the only item that's fully enchanted at the moment. We're back at the fortress, and we've started the long process of slabbing all the spawnable areas around the fortress in an effort to eventually make a fortress farm. If you have done this before, then you know about the annoying double slab issue that happens like that, right there. Bottom slabs prevent spawns, and upper slabs cause them, so it can be a little annoying to have to stop and go back and break the blocks you just placed, especially when you have to place 30 to 50,000 of them. To prevent this, you can simply position yourself so that you overhang onto the block that you're placing slabs on. When you do this, your own body prevents you from placing the upper slabs, so no more double slabbing to plague your Minecrafting experience. Ah, it looks like the welcoming committee has arrived to make us feel all welcome and committed. We've been extra busy placing slabs around the place as well as turtle egg traps for all the Ziglins. As everyone knows, Ziglins just love a good Scotch turtle egg and will do absolutely anything to get their grubby little hands on one. If anyone is watching this and wondering how I am one-shotting wellies, it's because my sword of choice has Smite 5 on it. And when you couple that with netherite, it makes for a perfect zombie, skelly, welly, Ziglin killing machine. And here we are demonstrating the enormous fun associated with slabbing the roofs of fortresses. Why, just look at all the wonderful new friends we've made while being up here. One of the unspoken truths of making a fortress farm is, as you start spawn protecting the area around the farm, every other area starts spawning even more mobs, which just raises the overall level of, oh, let's just call it fun, as everything around you does its very best to try and kill you. Every year I've played Minecraft, I've had some version of a flat fortress-style farm. Starting many years ago with just the basic tear down some walls and build a huge flat platform to potentially die on version. When you do something like that, and then you slab off all the surrounding hills, valleys, and tunnels, it turns Minecraft into a very combat-oriented game where every time you visit the fortress, you are gambling with your very life. Most people would find that the crazy thing to do, but I always found that I enjoyed it. Not the dying part, but the constant fighting and surviving that came from trying to get some skulls. Over the years, I started adding little safe zones and tweaking how much gamble there was in visiting the fortresses, but they were still a very manual and dangerous farm to visit. This year, the hope is to make a far more efficient and less dangerous farm. Last year, I sort of used a logical Geek Boy design for a 3-tier, smaller flat fortress, but it was still very manual. This year, I'm going to take the basic idea of one of his designs and see how I can tweak it and make it my own. I've picked out the location for the farm, and all I have to do is slab off all the surrounding areas so I can actually start working on it without being constantly knocked into lava. Which reminds me of a tweet I saw from someone recently. He was asking why anyone even needed magma cream. Who even uses fire resistance potions? And to that I respond, Me, I do, oh my god, I do! You wouldn't believe how often I fall into lava while making one of these. So I've decided the farm will center around the junction on this crossway. They made some changes to welly spawning a little ways back, not quite sure which version, but I think it was 1.16, where wellies spawn the best around these little junctions. There is an increased spawn rate 9 blocks from the center of the crossway, and since the blocks the floor is made of doesn't matter in this area, I'm going to try and come up with some interesting floor pattern. Just going to design it on the fly. All I know is I will be using deep slate and prismarine. The details of how spawning works in a fortress can get really bogged down, so if you're interested in this, I'll leave a link in the description to Logical Geek Boy's video, where he does an excellent job explaining it all. In this video, we're just going to keep it a little simple and build a pretty, hopefully, 9x9 platform surrounded by another 5-block wide border to take advantage of the pack spawning. It's almost like blazes have a sense of when you're out bridging over lava, right? Before the Nether update, it really didn't matter all that much where you built your fortress farm. If you stumbled on one that was over a massive lava lake, you were golden, but otherwise it just meant tons of slabbing. With the changes in 1.16, beyond the shadow of a doubt, the ideal place to build a fortress farm is one completely surrounded by a soul sand valley. The valleys only spawn ghast, skeletons, and endermen, and even when those spawn, it's not in any great numbers. In fact, if you really want to be obsessive about it, you could just light a soul sand valley up, and then only ghast would spawn every now and then. I'm going to do my best to not be obsessively placing torches around the area. And after many more blaze attacks, here's a look at the main platform taken with my spectator account. It's just a little random tile pattern, but I think it came out looking pretty good. The next step is to put the pack spawning border around it and then figure out what the overall design will be. I have something in mind, but I'll have to put that off until next time and wrap this one up here. For now, I have been Gragore, and this has been Roguecraft. And as always, no matter what you're doing, try and remember to have fun. See ya! Next time on Roguecraft. Don't stop shifting, don't stop shifting, don't stop shifting, don't stop shifting, don't stop shifting.